Good afternoon. Greetings from Gainesville, Florida. This is Frank Fry, the Gaming Geezer. That's right, I'm reclaiming my title. I am the Gaming Geezer. Why? Because this coming October, October 30th, I'm going to be 70 years old. That's right, the big 70, guys. And most of those years were spent in the gaming hobby. So, I am the Gaming Geezer, and I have returned in all of my geezer fineness. So, what am I going to do? Well, I'd like to make a lot more videos. Oh, and before we go any further, I want to thank everybody that has subscribed. I want to thank God Emperor Leto for the shout out and bringing attention to my channel. So I'm thinking I'm going to make more content. So, and I will let you all know, no, I'm not monetized, nor do I have any plans to monetize. If other folks want to do it, that's fine. That's fine with me. You know, everybody makes their own choices and their own decisions, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. So now I would like to also start with the idea of the pay for play. In other words, should game masters charge a fee? I've covered this before, but I wish to reiterate. If you want to, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I won't. I haven't done so in the 40 some odd years, and some of them years have been pretty odd, that I have been in the hobby. I'm not going to start now. Not going to start now. So, but if others want to do it, that's fine, because my basic gaming philosophy is I'm an entertainer. I'm a storyteller, world builder, whatever you want to call it. I'm here to entertain. That's what I'm doing. Now, if I want to charge for my services, that's fine. If the other folks want to charge for their services, that's fine. I don't anticipate charging for my services. I mean, the only compensation I think I ever really got was, yeah, free pizza from the players. So, like, here, have some pizza. Yeah, works for me. That's been about it. Aside from that, never felt the urge. Uh, the only thing I did feel the urge for is when I went to the historical miniatures conventions and ran games. Could you have at least, comped me the admission? That's what I thought, because I'm bringing everything. I'm hauling my miniatures, my scenery, everything I'm putting on this miniatures game for your convention. And, although I found there were a lot of people that really objected to that idea, I'm just not sure why. But aside from that, I do it for the love of the hobby. Role-playing games, it's fairly easy to tote your stuff unless you use a lot of miniatures and, things like that. But mostly for me, it's just been a bag of books. That's it. File folders, notes and stuff in it. So, if you want to charge for your time, I can understand why. Put a lot of time into this. Well, at this point in my life, hell, I'm retired. Retired and on a disability pension. Thanks to service in Vietnam. Agent Orange, the gift that keeps right on giving. Even though this November will mark the 50th anniversary of the beginning of my tour in Vietnam. Last February marked the 50th anniversary of my enlisting in the United States Army. I think 50 years ago I was in West Berlin, I think. I don't know, 50 years is a long time. But I can remember some of it, especially the Vietnam part. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I would go ahead and make these videos and generally comment and review games, the state of games today, the things that I have seen. I can remember that I played, my first D&D game was actually playing Chainmail, which was the set of War Games rules that D&D grew out of. Yes, D&D grew out of War Games rules. And I remember playing first edition D&D. I remember playing second edition. I remember playing third edition. Ironically, I've never played fourth edition. By then it was like, whatever. Now, I picked up fifth edition a while back, but I gave the books away. Gave them as a Christmas present to a very good friend of mine who is a big D&D fan. Because I wasn't going to use them. I wasn't going to use them. To share the wealth with somebody who will. And I can't wait to start on the 5th edition D&D dungeon crawl I understand he's planning. Anyway, and I've seen some remarkable stuff. And I think that I was born 3 years after the end of the greatest war in history, the Second World War. And I've lived to see men on the moon. That's really phenomenal. In fact, the great irony was I was in Vietnam when the first Apollo landing took place. That was quite a contrast. Anyway, so my start was really in wargaming, historical board games, historical miniatures. And in fact, that's where a lot of the early RPGs came from. They had that same level of complexity. Some still do. There's still that same level of complexity today, but things have changed. But I can remember, I think the first fantasy game I really got into was Chivalry and Sorcery from Fantasy Games Unlimited. Damn, talk about a brain-breaking, crunchy game. That game was so crunchy, the wrapper crackled. I mean, it was really crunchy. When character generation takes 2 hours to just get a basic character. And you're dice rolling and you're looking this up and you're looking that up and you're doing this and no. But I got it because it fascinated me, and I got several of the supplements that went with it, like Vikings. I think they had one for the Mongols, and they had one of these, compendium books that had sort of expanded territories in it and stuff. I mean, you detailed. The last time I saw, the only time I've seen a level of detailing that approaches that is in the current Song of Ice and Fire Game of Thrones edition from Green Ronin, which I have. And so I really moved on. And I played I had a lot of fun playing AD&D back in the early days. I really did. It was a good game. And damn did we have a good time playing it. I ran Traveller. I love Traveller. The first Traveller campaign I think I ran, I actually used, because there were no sector maps, really. I actually used the map from an old SPI science fiction game. I think it was called Star Force Alpha Centauri. Wow. How's that for old? But I remember that. Holy cow. I remember that. I think it was called Battlefleet Mars. But Traveler was the first, and boy, did we play that. I ran that, and God, I love that game. Still do. Still do. You know, it's gone through a number of iterations. Some I like, some not so much. But I still have it. And but then in 1981, things really got interesting. That's when I discovered Call of Cthulhu, the RPG. That was the year it was first published by the crazy people at Chaosium. Sandy Peterson and others, and diverse hands, whoever he is or was. And that really set things. I'd always loved the horror genre. I love the Cthulhu mythos. I've been reading H.P. Lovecraft. I read my first story in 1963. I was 14 years old, going on 15. It was The Color Out of Space. That was the first Lovecraft story I ever read, followed up by The Call of Cthulhu. And I remember followed by the Dunwich Horror. Wow. You know, just wow. And I have been a Lovecraft fan ever since, as if you couldn't tell by my t-shirt. And before anybody says anything, yes, he was a racist. In fact, he was not just a man of his times. He was a serious racist and xenophobe. And right now, to me, some of his stories are unreadable for me. Doesn't mean I've thrown all his books in the trash or anything like that. No. To the contrary, I still reread his work. And I still enjoy a lot of his stories. I think The Color Out of Space is tremendous. And, you know, I've really had a good time with those stories and with others. And yes, I even like some of the stuff from August Derleth. In fact, I just picked up a book on him that S.T. Joshi apparently hates, and that to me is almost a recommendation anymore. But anyway, no, I played a lot of Call of Cthulhu. Having seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, yeah, I was doing Pulp Cthulhu before the book ever came out. I've also done it very grimdark, very serious. Yeah, I went through a long phase where I was the Lovecraft purist. Oh, I don't like that because that's not Lovecraftian. Who cares? All right, now I've just gone beyond that completely. Just went beyond it, you know, holding me back. But you know, I did a lot of I still play historical miniatures and I still collect them. And damn, it's a lot of fun. I play Saga now. I have a late Imperial Roman warband. I have a Pictish warband. I got, you know, several of warbands. I enjoy it. I also enjoy role-playing games, which I'm going to review some of my favorites upcoming, including Fantasy Age, which is really very, very good. I also like to comment on some of the issues that seem to crop up in gaming. And I've noticed that there have been a lot of people that really, oh, you're a SJW, you're ruining gaming. Well, you know, SJW meaning social justice warrior. I got news for you. I am a social justice warrior, and I'm damn proud of it. I served my country in Vietnam. I serve America still. Why? Because I believe in equality for all. Because, I believe in diversity. I like diversity. I want to see more women. I want to see more minorities get into the gaming industry, get into gaming. They're always everybody's welcome at my table. And we'll see what we can do. But yeah, I'm a social justice warrior. I protested the war in Vietnam after I got back, by the way. Why? If you're not going to let, my thing was, if you're not going to let us win, then let's just go home. Let's get out of there. If we're not in it to win it, leave it. Which is, in my opinion, what we really did. Not that there was really any way we could have won that anyhow, but that's enough of that. But yeah, I'm a social justice warrior. I think people that send like rape threats to women and death threats need to be arrested, because that's not freedom of speech to me. And by the way, my darling wife is a member of the Me Too movement, so yeah, I'm well acquainted with the aftermath of these things. I firmly believe that you just need to follow the golden rule in everything. Gaming, it really helps. Treat other people like you'd want to be treated. How do you want to be treated? Then you treat other people that way. Not rocket science, I'll tell you that. I was recently watching, I watched some of the Geek and Sundry people. I watched Matt Mercer, Critical Role. I also watched a number of his videos on dungeon mastering advice. And I also watched Satine Phoenix and a number of her videos on dungeon mastering advice. And I liked them both. I remember that I remember one time she was talking about a safe space for your players and things like that. And I'm like, dear lady, really all you're saying is treat other people like you would like to be treated. Be aware of things that could trigger people. And that's where communication comes in. Talk to your players. Find out what they like, what they don't like, what's going to make them comfortable, what's going to make them uncomfortable. Because we're all here to have a good time. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Oh, and in case any of you are starting to wonder, yes, I know Satine Phoenix is, an adult film star. And yes, I've actually seen a couple of her videos. Because I was kind of like, really? How much of an adult? Oh, wow, she really is an adult film star. Okay. Not a problem. She still gives great dungeon mastering advice. That's what she chose to do, so she does it. Anyway, as the year rolls along and I push 70, and 70's pushed back a little bit, I'll tell you that. I want to give some stuff going on my channel. So I thank you what's going on and stuff. So I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for subscribing. And I want you all to take care and have fun and play games. Okay? See ya later.